Students, today we are going to learn chapter sexual reproduction in flowering plants. We will continue discussing the chapter as video camera is not working, so I am using mobile now. That too without mic, you can see directly, but it will be working, so you can listen to my voice clearly. Okay, so I have used an internal mic in the mobile, which is fixed to the mobile. So from the distance I can speak so that you can hear clearly. Okay. So in our last class we have discussed, as there are three events in reproduction, that is pre-fertilization, fertilization and post-fertilization. I think so many times I have discussed these three events. And the first event, that is pre-fertilization, there are two stages, that is gametogenesis, hemolysis. Genesis means formation, okay, gamete means sex cell. Gametogenesis, once gamete is produced, then it will be transferred, so that is gamete transfer. One part of gametogenesis we have already discussed, that is formation of pollen grain in the anther. As pollen grain is smaller in size, so it is also called microspore. Formation of microspore or pollen grain within the anther is called microsporogenesis. You have already learned it. We have already learned in last class. Then formation of female gamete. Female gamete is egg. So egg is also called megaspore. So formation of megaspore is called megasporogenesis. So we have already finished this. We have to learn this now. So, but before we learn how egg is produced in the female reproductive part of the flower, first we should know female reproductive part of flower. Female reproductive part of flower. You know that male reproductive part is andration, female reproductive part is gynaecium. Okay, so gynaecium is also called as pistil. Pistil. Okay, so if you remember, the pistil is a structure which will be like this. Pistil or gynaecium. It has three parts. The bulged part, swollen part, what you see at the base, that is ovary. Then the long slender structure is called style. And on the top, knob-like structure is called stigma. Together, this entire part, ovary, style, stigma, together this entire part we call pistil or gynaecium. So entire part is a pistil, nothing but gynaecium, female reproductive part of flower. Then what we have to learn is gametogenesis. Female gamete is egg. Where is egg present? So egg will be present within the ovary. Where exactly? So for that you have to take cross section of ovary. Then when you take a cross section of ovary, you see that there are small structures there. They are called ovules. Ovules. So these ovules, many ovules will be there. Sometimes single ovule will be there. Sometimes many ovules will be there. That also we will take example. But first let us see, where is egg located? Egg is a megaspore. Where it is present? It is present inside the ovary. Inside the ovary there are ovules, and within the ovule, what is there? We have to know, because egg is produced within the ovule. So we have to know the structure of ovule. Okay, so ovule is called megasporangium. ovule is called megasporangium. Why it is called megasporangium? See, because word angium means bag-like structure. Sporangium means bag containing spores. Megasporangium means bag containing megaspore. Mega means large or big. Compared to size of pollen grain, egg size is slightly bigger. Pollen grain is called microspore because it is smaller. Now egg is slightly bigger than that, so that is why it is called megaspore, means big spore. Okay, so where egg is produced inside the ovule. Where is ovule present? Ovule, you can see here, ovule is present within the ovary. The swollen structure, what is that? That ovary. Within the ovary, there will be ovules. Within the ovule, megaspore or egg will be produced. So, you have to take the cross section of ovule and learn what is there inside. What is there inside the ovule? Last year, first year PUC, you have already learned it. That ovule contains, inside it contains embryo sac. Already know. So, we have to learn now about these parts. Then we will go to how exactly egg is produced inside the embryo sac. What embryo sac is called as? Embryo sac is a structure which contains the female gamete. So you know that in case of male part of the flower, pollen grain is a gamete containing structure. So pollen grain was called male gametophyte. Embryo sac is a female gamete containing structure. So embryo sac should be called as female gametophyte. The word I told you already so many times, even in interaction also we have already discussed about it. So once again, I am not believing the interaction. So I told you that I will record. Same thing what last week, last day we have discussed in interaction. Same thing once again I am explaining in video, because only in interaction we cannot discuss the chapter. Okay, so I will send you videos, then we will discuss the chapter. This is the same thing what we discussed that day in the class. So if video class is there, you can see again and again. So okay, so now. So let us see the structure of ovule and embryo sac, where ovule is present inside the ovary, and inside the ovule, I repeat, don't get confused, it is very easy, you know this very well. Within the ovary, there are ovules. Within the ovule, there will be embryo sac. Within the embryo sac, there will be egg. See, like I will show you now. Within the ovary, if you cut the ovary, then you will see a structure like this. Now, you can draw either this way also. This is also correct. Okay, or else you can draw reverse also. Like they draw this reverse. Both are correct. So, in that case, there will be 3 antipodal cells and 2 polar nuclei, Then 1 egg will be there here and 2 synergids will be there. Do you remember this ovule structure? This ovule structure also we are going to learn now. Before that, types of variation we will learn. Okay, so now this entire structure is what we call megasporangium, because it's a bag-like structure. Angium means bag-like structure. Sporangium means bag containing spores. These are the spores. See, these are the spores. Then, as it contains megaspore, so it is called megasporangium. Then, within the ovule, what is this structure now? This one. If I draw same thing here like this. This part, only this part I am drawing there. That is embryo sac. Embryo sac is called female gametophyte because the egg, what is there here? The egg, this is the egg at the center, and these 2 cells just after the eggs, that is called synergids or synergids. You already know. First year you have already done. And these 2 are polar nuclei, and these three are antipodal cells. Antipodal cells, you know this. So now I'm just giving introduction, then we will continue slowly step by step. Just to make you understand why we have written this heading and why these headings are there in the textbook. Okay. So I hope you understood now that within the ovary there will be ovule, within the ovule there will be embryo sac, and within the embryo sac there will be egg. That egg is a megaspore. So now we have to learn how exactly this egg is produced inside the embryo sac. That process will be called as megasporogenesis. Name only says genesis means formation. How exactly this egg is produced inside the embryo sac, that we are going to learn, that is called megasporogenesis. Like in male part of the flower, we have learned how pollen grains are produced within the anther. It is called microsporogenesis. Now, how egg is produced inside the embryo sac is called megasporogenesis. So slowly, step by step, we will learn. Later, I will label all these parts. Before we go to structure of this ovule in detail, now we will see step by step. Okay, so this is a structure of gynoecium. Like in some plants, like in hibiscus, you can see all three parts here. All three parts are there where the gynoecium present is single. One gynoecium means ovary style stigma. This whole part is one gynoecium. Only single gynoecium is there in hibiscus. So it is called as monocarpellary. Monocarpellary gynoecium. Okay, so monocarpellary pistil or gynoecium, because single pistil is there. What is pistil or gynoecium? This thing, what three parts are there? Ovary style stigma is one pistil. Based on how many pistils are there, like this is a case of hibiscus. In hibiscus plant, it is monocarpellary, means single pistil is present. So mono means one, so monocarpellary means single pistil. Ovary style stigma. Okay, in some cases, this ovary style stigma, this whole structure will be more than one. If it is more than one, then you should call it as multi-carpellary. Multi means many, more than two, more than one carpel. See, gynoecium sometimes also called pistil, is also called carpel. So, if single gynoecium or single pistil is there or single carpel is there, then it is monocarpellary, as it is there in hibiscus. This is the example of hibiscus. Okay, not this. I will draw the structure of hibiscus now. The hibiscus gynoecium will be like this. Where it will have many stigma. This is ovary style stigma. This is an example of hibiscus which is monocarpellary, because single pistil or single carpel is there. This ovary style stigma is one carpel. So single pistil or single carpel is there. So it is called monocarpellary. What about multicarpellary? In that again two types: multicarpellary syncarpous, meaning more than one pistil or more than one carpel is present. How they are present? Are they joined together or they are separate? If they are joined together, if the carpels join together and make one bundle, then it is called syncarpous. I'll give example. If it is more than one carpel or more than one pistil or more than one gynoecium, then it is multicarpellary. But if the carpels are many but they are separate, if they are joined together, it is syncarpous. Okay, if they are separate, then they are apocarpous. Here it is multicarpellary syncarpus. There it is multicarpellary apocarpus. Let us take example. Here example is papaver somnifera. Papaver somniferum. Papaver somnifera. That is papaver plant, poppy plant. Papaver means poppy plant. You have already learned. We get cuscus from that. Cuscus and poison water. Cuscus from that, or poppy. We get drug also from this. Papaver or poppy. Then you see that you see the structure like this. Structure is like this. Okay, the structure in papaver it will be like this. On the top, this is the structure. So where you see that these are all carpels, many carpels, but joined together. Multicarpellary means many carpels are there. Like you can number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like this. You can number that many carpels, like 7 carpels. But all the carpels joined together. Then it is called many carpels, so multicarpellary, but all joined together, so it is called syncarpus. If they are separate, then they are called apocarpus. That is in case of example. Here example, Michaelia. We say Michaelia champaka. Means champaka flower. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಂಪಿಗೆ ಹೂ ಅಂತೀವಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, ಹಳದಿ ಕಲರ್, yellow color flower, very fragrant. They make incense sticks also. ಅಂದರೆ ಊದುಬತ್ತಿ ಕಡ್ಡಿ ಕೂಡ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಊದುಬತ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಚಂಪಾ ಫ್ಲವರ್ or ಚಂಪಕ ಫ್ಲವರ್ ನಾವು ಸಂಪಿಗೆ ಹೂ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಲೈಕ್ ಎಗ್ ಫ್ಲವರ್. Okay, so Michaelia is that plant where you see that it will have a structure like this. You should see the structure where you see that all the carpels are separate. All the carpels are separate. Many carpels are there. Like this is one carpel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like that you can name it. But all are separate. They are not joined together. They are separate. So they are called apocarpus. That means if single carpel is there or single pistil is there, it is monocarpellary, as it is in hibiscus. If more than one is there, multicarpellary. Both are multicarpellary. But if many are there but all joined, then it is syncarpus. If they are separate, then it is apocarpus. Okay, so in syncarpus, it is in papaver plant. In Michaelia, it is separate. So it is apocarpus. I hope you understood what I am saying. Okay. So now let us continue learning. So based on how many gynoecium or how many pistil or how many carpels, based on that, see, gynoecium, pistil, carpel, both all three are same, but slight difference is there. But for our understanding, we consider it as one. For our understanding in biology, it is considered as one only, like gynoecium, pistil, or carpel. But slight difference is there. Okay, that we will learn in each class. But in textbook they have meant same thing. They are saying in textbook all three are same. So even you should consider all three are same because it is there in the textbook like that. They have given to make students understand that gynoecium and pistil and carpel all three are same but different names. different words. That's why they have given. See, ovary stigma is gynoecium. It is also called pistil. It is also called carpel. If single carpel is there, that is monocarpal. If many carpels are there, multicarpal. Like that. So I hope you understood what I am saying. Okay. Then, when you take a cross section of ovary, so this is the structure of ovary. This is style. This is stigma. Together, this all three parts together is called gynoecium, or also called as pistil. Now then, when you take cross section of this, when you cut the ovary and see inside, then you see a structure like this. Okay, the space what is there inside the ovary, it is called ovarian space, or it is called locule. Okay, so it is called locule. Ovarian cavity. So cavity present within the ovary is called the space what is there within the ovary, it is called locule. You know. Then you have taken a cross section of ovary, so you should be seeing now ovules. As you know placentation already. Suppose if it is an axial placentation, then you will know what exactly happens. See, suppose this is axial placentation, then ovules will be there like this. No? Like then these spaces what is there? No? The spaces what I am showing shaded about, that is called locule or ovarian space. These are the spaces present here inside the ovary. So like I can show you here, these are the spaces present. The space what is there inside the ovary is called ovarian cavity or locule. Then these are the ovules. Ovule is called megasporangium. I told you why it is called megasporangium. I have already explained. Then within the ovule there will be embryo sac. Embryo sac will be there within this. And within the embryo sac, megaspore is produced. Okay. So now we have to learn the structure of ovule. But before we learn the internal structure or cross section of ovule, we should know that some plants contain single ovule and some plants contain many ovules. So the attachment, what is that? How the ovule is attached to the ovary wall. This is a ovary wall now. So ovary wall is attached to ovule, or ovule is attached to ovary wall with the help of connection called placenta. So you have learned placentation. 5 types of placentation you have learned in. Arrangement of ovules within the ovary is called placentation. No? We have learned like that. So how it is arranged based on the 5 types of placentation you have learned, like axial placentation, parietal placentation, free central, basal placentation you have learned. So you know ovules are attached to the ovary wall with the help of connection called placenta. That's why I am showing placenta. So some plants contain within the ovary single ovule. Means in one ovary, one ovule will be there. In some plants, one ovary contains many ovules. Let us take example, like which plants will be having single and which plant will be having many. Okay. So like in wheat, paddy and mango. Wheat, paddy and mango. These 3 plants will have single ovule. Single ovule will be there in the ovary. But in case of some other examples we will take, like papaya, watermelon, orchids. Papaya, watermelon, orchids. Many OVUs will be there within the ovary. Single ovary contains single ovule like this. Suppose this is the ovary, okay, and it contains single ovule. If the ovary contains many ovules like this, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that, then in the case it is papaya, watermelon, and orange. So in next class we will continue learning internal structure of cross section of ovule. Then within the ovule there will be embryo sac, within the embryo sac megaspore. We have already learned this in interaction, but I will neglect that because I took permission from the college that I will be taking video classes. After recording video classes, students will see in YouTube. I'll send the link in the group. After watching the videos, I said I will take interaction so that interaction will be easy. Okay, because direct interaction where I cannot show my face and you are familiar with my regular way of teaching, not interactive class. So interaction also we will do as per the timetable how it is given, but we will have classes like this. Okay, so that you can see these classes again and again. Okay, so keep watching my classes. Thank you.